How's it going, Bremerton? Josh Farley with the Kitsap Sun here, out with the 5th graders at Brownsville Elementary School for another edition of the Bremerton Beat Blast. And we've got 5 stories that you just got to know about happening in Bremerton this week. Welcome back to this edition of the Bremerton Beat Blast, sponsored by the Admiral Theater. Story number 1 today. Have you ever gotten a red light ticket in Bremerton? Well, Bremerton is the only city in the entire county that has a red light ticket program. And I can tell you that it is getting tickets in numbers it hasn't seen since its inception. More than 10,300 people in Bremerton got a ticket at one of the 5 intersections that has traffic cameras in the city. City leaders are unsure why we're seeing such an uptick in tickets given at those intersections, but we can point to a couple of general factors. For one, we have a second home-ported carrier. As you know, the USS Nimitz is here with the Stennis, so that brought more Navy sailors. We know that the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard has been hiring and is close to 14,000 people, the most it's had since the early 1950s here in Bremerton. The Seattle economy is also red hot and is still bringing lots of people over. But one thing we know for sure, if you are at one of those 5 intersections, best not to go through those red lights. Not only is it dangerous, but who knows, you might end up with a $136 ticket in your mailbox. Story number 2 on the Bremerton Beat Blast this week. Who's ready to once again wade in the Harborside Fountains down on the Bremerton waterfront on a hot summer day? We're almost there. As you know, for the entire last year, they had to be turned off due to electrical and mechanical issues inside of the plumbing system of the $20 million Harborside Fountain Park, which opened in 2007. It does appear that the work is almost completed, and after some checkups from both state and county officials, the Harborside Fountain Park will reopen.
Our ultimate drop-dead goal is Memorial Day, but we hope to have everything going probably mid-April, and at the very latest the end of April. We want to make sure that everything's perfect, so when we do open to the public that we have no glitches and we continue to run it the whole summer.
Story number 3 on the Bremerton Beat Blast this week. Many of you have followed the continuing case of Leslie Daugs, the Bremerton City Council member who was arrested January 31st on suspicion of disrupting Congress. She was attending a hearing for Jeff Sessions, now our nation's Attorney General, when she uttered an expletive and was escorted out of the courtroom by Capitol Police. On Monday, she had an arraignment, and rather than take a plea deal, which would have seen her get 32 hours of community service time, she's deciding to fight the charge. A new court date has been set for June. Story number 4 is a slice of life story, the ones of which I love telling on each and every episode of the Beat Blast. This one comes from a little church down by Evergreen-Rotary Park. When they removed some siding from the side of the building, they discovered a name underneath the siding: Service Fuel Company. It turns out that Service Fuel Company was a long-time business right here in Bremerton whose owners supplied people with fuel oil to heat their homes. From 1935 to 1970, the Bennett family ran this business and heated homes all over the Bremerton and Kitsap County area.
A lot of people have been stopping by telling us stories about, the building and the sign and the history of the neighborhood, and so it's been really fun.
Unfortunately, there's no way to take the sign off of the side of the building, and it has been re-sided over. And finally, story number 5 on this week's Beat Blast. 2 museums in downtown Bremerton are joining forces and will become under the same roof starting April 1st. The Valentinetti Puppet Museum has been in Bremerton since 1999 and has been located almost as long on 4th Street. But it will move into the Kitsap County Historical Society Museum, which is located in the Seattle National Bank building. Very historic, beautiful old building, and both museums will now be located inside.
We will still be 2 independent institutions with our own separate boards, but we'll be able to share some of the expenses of operating separately by being under one roof. So we're really looking forward to that chance.
That's going to do it for this edition of the Bremerton Beat Blast. One more note, last week I challenged you inside the Bremerton downtown post office to get the best photo you possibly could of Northwest Logging, a famous mural that was composed by an artist during the Great Depression. Well, the winner this week is Steve Johnson. Congratulations, Steve. You've taken a great photo that I'm going to make my Facebook profile picture, and I encourage you to come down to the Sun's office. I'd love to take you out for a cup of coffee. And thank you to the many who sent me wonderful photos of this historic mural in our downtown post office. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you again next Tuesday.
and hope it'll work.